should try to elevate their consciousness. So therefore, Jadavara wasn't appreciative of the way the king was dealing with the citizens. And sometimes you may say that's not fair, but this is a very highly elevated person, Jadavara. He can test the rice by knowing it's cooked by one grain, whether it's cooked or not, the whole pot. So we may not be able to do what he can do, but that is what it is. Simply by seeing his actions, he already knew the arrogance in the king. So first one has to give up all this false identification, and then one can take up spiritual life seriously. Otherwise we will fail. You cannot have you cannot say you will have one foot here and one foot there. You have to eventually give up the material.
Have your cake and eat it too.
Huh?
Have your cake and eat it.
Yeah, you can't. You cannot have it and at the same time eat it. It's impossible. Either you keep it or you eat it. So, Prabhupada then goes on to discussing how in Kali Yuga they are basically big thieves. Our presidents and our heads of department, all of them are thieves. They plunder by taxing heavily, and they are thieves because they take away your properties and so on. So hopefully when we cultivate people, we give them this value of what this culture is all about. So that when they can take it back in their homes and so on, the society will change for better. That's the transformation we want to make. Our movement is meant to make that kind of transformation. Unless we practice seriously and then show people the product of that act, of the learning that we have, we cannot change people easily. Just like Sunday feast, they come. You can encourage them to take courses and so on, but you in your heart you want to change them for their benefit, and when they see that, then they'll become better persons, outstanding citizens, and they'll get the presidential freedom necklace or whatever. Freedom from this material thing. Right. Yeah. So ultimate goal of life must be somehow taught to people, and that's one of the reasons why Prabhupada almost every time he says, "You're not the body, not the body, not the body," and he was very successful. Simply saying, "You're not the body."
Yeah. So to instill this knowledge, it's taking too much time to just learn it.
Yeah, it does.
It will take
because your mind is not yet controlled properly.
It will take same amount of time or more.
Or more, maybe in a few lifetimes.
To transform the society. The immediate goal was to transform.
Yeah, that you have to work at it. First you have to cultivate Brahmanas. Brahmanas means they have to know the scripture and everything. Prabhupada say, I came to make Brahmanas. Not Shudras, they're already there. Yeah.
But how long will it take for us, for the movement to transform?
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
Not necessarily. The transformation can go in leaps and bounds depending on how surrendered we are, right? Because everything is not in our control. If we are very sincerely doing it without expecting anything, Krishna becomes pleased, he can change. If you read the 12th canto, Kalki avatar will come. Yeah. The transformation takes place how fast? Huh?
Speed of mind.
Yeah, speed of mind.
Prabhupada also says that many people will take Krishna consciousness, but not everyone. Like in future it will grow, but not everyone.
Exactly. Yes. That means people will become favorable. They may come to the temple, they may chant, but they may not take it up seriously. That means you will then see group of people who are seriously doing it, Brahmanas, Vaishyas, like that. It's already there, it's just that it hasn't congealed in nicely. Yeah. You all have a certain nature, you know it or you don't know it, that's all. Brahmanical, Vaishya, all that. So a Vaishya will rule differently. If you put a Vaishya as a king, how is he going to do? He's going to business with the citizen. He's going to cheat. Every now and then he'll cheat. Yeah, exactly. He's a Vaishya, so he's going to cheat. He's a Vaishya with Sudra mentality also. So if you put a Sudra, then the Sudra will make everyone work crazy. If you put a Kshatriya, he'll go on wars.
He will work on his own. He won't even make others work. He'll just work on his own.
No, Brahmana will not take that role. He will not be a king. If he becomes a king, then he'll be like, who's that?
Vishwamitra.
No. Yamunacharya.
Yeah. He'll give up at some point.
Yeah, Yamunacharya. Right? He became a king and he governed so nicely. Then he said, why am I doing this? Yeah. So he gave it and walked away. Yeah. So you need Brahmanas to guide the others. Otherwise, it's chaos. Yeah. Text 8.
यदाक्षितावेव चराचरस्य विदामनिष्टां प्रभवं च नित्यम् तन्नामतोऽन्याद्व्यवहारमूलम् निरूप्तयतां सतक्रिययां मुमेयम्.
All of us on the surface of the globe are living entities in different forms. Some of us are moving and some not moving. All of us come into existence, remain for some time and are annihilated when the bodies again mingle with the earth. We are all simply different transformations of the earth. Different bodies and capacities are simply transformations of the earth that exist in name only. For everything grows out of the earth, and when everything is annihilated, it again mingles with the earth. In other words, we are but dust, and we shall but be dust. Everyone can consider this point. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Like that. They're saying it. In the old days they will burn the bodies, and then they will say dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Nowadays prime property is filled with bodies. So you can see again here, his point is everything is that is on that material platform is temporary. The spirit is different thing. He is trying to make him understand that matter and spirit are different, but they are all from the same person, Bhagavan. Right, everything is Brahman, but this is what Achinta Bheda Bheda Tattva. Prabhupada mentions there, Sarvam Kalu Idam Brahma. Matter and spirit are all non-different from Supreme Brahman, Bhagavan, Lord. Lord Sri Krishna confirms his statement in the Bhagavad Gita, Me Binna Prakriti Ashtata. So all the energies are from him, but it is separated energy. So again, when we didn't have Srila Prabhupada's purports and understanding, we didn't understand this Achinta Bheda Bheda thing. Right? We just thought spirit, matter. That's it. But then when he was teaching about Achinta Bheda Bheda in his purports, it's like, wow, I never knew that. Oh, it clicked. That is a fact. It suddenly made so much sense. That matter is a transformation of spirit. Otherwise, how did it manifest itself? So then, when we understand that, we appreciate it where it's all coming from, right? So we know it's coming from the original source, the cause of all causes, the Supreme Lord, Narayana or Krishna. So therefore, this is Sankhya actually, working back to the source of everything. Which is what Jadabharat is trying to teach the king that everything is actually connected to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, originally there is no difference between matter and spirit, but they are different, manifested. You can't see the Brahma Jyoti, you can't see the Paramatma, doesn't mean the Lord is not sustaining it. Right? You can't see the police here, but somehow the law is sustained. Correct? The thieves they are always worried, right? Yeah. So it is like that. The Lord is manifesting and sustaining the existence, this material existence. Remember I said He is invested quite a lot of His energy for us. How can you say it's on His own? No, He has put in so much effort to keep us occupied. Like parents try to keep the children occupied, right? Give a video or whatever. That's how they occupy nowadays. But in the old days, they'll give them a pot, a pen, right? Something, toys, something. So this understanding of Krishna, how He expands, how He manifests in this material world, is therefore very much needed for us to appreciate Him. Otherwise, how are we going to know that He is supreme? We can't do that. If we don't appreciate all this and think about it, we will never accept Krishna as supreme. We will think He is equal or less. And therefore we cannot develop the affection for Him. Or we cannot think that I am a servant. I must be controlling something. Right? What they say, you control your own destiny. In a sense, it's true. In terms karmically. But we can't control many things. And it's a fallacy, right? If you work hard, you will become successful. Tony Robbins, he says that. But it's a fallacy. Not everyone is going to be successful. The room of 300 people, they all pay $5,000 for his course, 3-day course or 2-day course, like that. And then he tells them, you just have to believe in it. Just think about it and then write goals and you'll get it and achieve. Actually, he's the one who's getting to be a millionaire on one day. All these fools have given 5,000. And they are $5,000 short and not anywhere closer to being a millionaire. That's one thing. The other thing is, according to your karma, that's what it is. You're never going to be a millionaire, you'll never be a millionaire. So therefore it's important to know who is the cause of all causes. Better than trying to believe all these pseudo gurus, high-tech gurus, Okay. Next verse. Text 9.
एवं निरुक्तं क्षितिशब्दवृत्तम् असन्निधानात् परमानवो ये अविद्यया मनसा कल्पितस्ते येषां समूहेन कृतो विशेषः.
One may say that varieties arise from the planet Earth itself. However, although the universe may temporarily appear to be the truth, it ultimately has no real existence. The Earth was originally created by a combination of atomic particles, but these particles are impermanent. Actually, the atom is not the cause of the universe, although some philosophers think so. It is not a fact that the varieties found in this material world simply result from atomic juxtaposition or combination. So you can see, even so many years ago, people think like that. Big bang, no bang, whatever bang,
Actually, the atom is not the cause of universe.
Yeah, so the atom doesn't, how does the atom then combine to form everything? They can't answer that, right? Therefore they go to sun planet, and then they say the sun is so hot that hydrogen atom all combine because of nuclear fission. And then from there everything will form, they'll say, but they won't tell you how it forms. I think a couple of months ago they had a meeting in England where the scientists, Darwinism, I mentioned it, no? Darwinism, they got together, and there were three parties, right? The party that believes that there is intelligence behind creation, and then there's a party of scientists who are against this, and then there's a party is in between. So they wanted to discuss this thing, but they refused to let those people who believe in intelligent design speak. So they say you're not scientific. But then when they had the two other parties, the one the fully atheistic and the other one who are trying to question it, so the people who question said that we don't know how even the eye of a human being has evolved. Darwin's theory doesn't explain, and they all accepted it, but they refused to publish it and say it is. They still went back and say we may not know now. Post-dated check. Like that. So people are like that. They come up with this theory, and based on what?
Speculation.
Speculation. Yeah. The knowledge is ascending.
Working backward.
So they are thinking, oh, it must be combined. How do they know, right? They say originally there was a bang. So what was it originally? A big mass. So where did the mass come from? They don't want to talk about it. No. Shh.
They don't know the beginning. They know only middle part.
Yeah. So why? Because the mathematics, the principles of mathematics can use that principles of mathematics with the cosmic laws. So therefore, based on that, they say my theory is correct. It's all mathematics. And from maths, it becomes physics. And from physics, they combine the molecules to form chemistry. From chemistry, combination becomes biology. From biology, psychology. Because living entities, then psychology. So that's all they can evolve from. Like that. But they don't know more than that. They don't want to know. Actually, they don't want to know. Because to know means they have to accept a superior intelligence. Yeah. And because they are envious, they cannot accept that. Text 10.
Evam krisam sthulamanu-brahadhyat asakshasa jivam-ajivam-anyat dravya svabhava-vayasya kala-karma namna jayavehi kritam drivitiyam.
Since this universe has no real ultimate existence, the things within it, shortness, differences, grossness, skinniness, smallness, bigness, result, cause, living symptoms and materials are all imagined. They are all pots made of the same substance, earth, but they are named differently. The differences are characterized by the substance, nature, predisposition, time and activity. You should know that all these are simply mechanical manifestations created by material nature. Prakriti, Kriyamani, Gunai Karma, Sarvasa. So basically you desire something, and then the subtle body is formed based on your desires, and then the next life the subtle body becomes your gross. But you are the same person, jumping from one cab to another cab. Right? Correct? One taxi, another taxi. That's all. Or you drive one Uber, another Uber. Like that. So, you just go and sit inside, somebody drives you. That's how the material energy is driving the car. It's another way of understanding it like that. And then things happen on its own by the material energy, yet we say we did it. We did it. And then we deny the existence of God. So again, the emphasis is we have to understand there is a Supreme Personality who is actually the one who is controlling and maintaining the entire universe. The Lord says, right, in the Bhagavad Gita, Brahmanohi Pratisthaham. Everything is resting on me, even the Brahman. Because everything is sitting on Brahmajyoti. So he is the basis of everything. Text 11.
Jnanam, sorry, I just clicked on something. Jnanam Vishuddham Paramarthamekam Anantaram Tva Abhir Brahma Satyam Pratyak Prasantam Bhagavat Shabda Samyamyam Yadvasudevam Kavayo Vadanti.
Just to say, I'm not going to have class tomorrow because I need to have a break also. And I think you all have some program also. So, won't have class tomorrow, but I'll have the day after. Yeah, I need to break here. What then is the ultimate truth? The answer is that non-dual knowledge is the ultimate truth. It is devoid of the contamination of material qualities. It gives us liberation. It is the one without a second, all-pervading and beyond imagination. The first realization of that knowledge is Brahman. Then Paramatma, the Supersoul, is realized by the yogis who try to see him without grievance. This is the second stage of realization. Finally, full realization of the same supreme knowledge is realized in the Supreme Person. All learned scholars describe the Supreme Person as Vasudeva, the cause of Brahman, Paramatma and others. Now remember, this discussion is between people who have understood and accepted Vedic knowledge. So therefore, someone who don't have this knowledge will say, how can you just accept like that? How do you know this Brahman? So here, what you have to understand is they already have the culture behind it, the understanding behind it. So the discussion, when it goes straight into this kind of Brahman and Paramatma, you are like, how is that possible?
Less contamination.
So that's why we begin, when people come, we have to discuss basic things. Who is Krishna? Who are his expansions? All that. And who are you? Those fundamental basic ideas must be inculcated before you jump onto the Bhagavad Gita and other things. I just want to go along.
This verse is a nice expansion on that Brahmeti, Paramatmati.
Yes, it is similar.
Similar one
Yeah.
with details.
Yeah. The non-dual substance. Right? Learned transcendentalists call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. Not and Bhagavan. Oh. Vedantata tattva vidam tattvam yajnanam
Bhagavan sabdate.
Yeah, so here Prabhupada quotes from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Yat Advaitam Brahmo Panishadi Tad Apiyasya Tanuba. The impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Absolute Truth consists of the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oftentimes you find people don't know this. Right? They don't know that the Brahman that is all pervasive, they don't know that is actually the effulgence. One time somebody asked Prabhupada, why is the sky blue? He said it's the effulgence of Krishna. That's why it's blue. When you ask a scientist, they say, light refraction like that. But I like Prabhupada's answer because Krishna is blue. That's his effulgence, blue.
But elsewhere in the third canto we said that when the fruitive activities of the jivas as they are coming out of
It creates the
Karna, Daksha, Mahavishnu, that's what creates.
blue color. But then the real is Krishna. That's the real answer. There may be other answers, but that's the real answer. So the whole point is to see that the Lord has different expansions. Again here is to give us an understanding of the potency of the Lord. He can do that. Right? He can expand. We can't expand. We want to expand. So we can do two things. Stay at home, take care of the child and be here for class. No?
Class, yeah.
But you can't do that. If you read carefully in the third canto, when Kardama Muni expanded, he could only do? No, he could only do what? How many things? He can only do one thing even though he expanded. So he can only do the same activity.
But he could only do one even though he expanded.
Yes.
Okay. Whereas Krishna could do 16, 1, 8, 0, 8.
Yeah, unless you have a spiritual body.
Next one.
Yeah, go to the next verse.
Rahu gunaita tapasanayati
Gunaita tapasanayati
nache jaya nirvapanat grahadva
nache jaya nirvapanat grahadva
Nachandasanaiva jalagni surya Vina mahatpada rajobhishekam
There's another verse similar to this. Somebody say something. Anyway, my dear king, Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules and regulations of household life, living home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyasa or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. There's another similar verse in the Bhagavatam. It says the same thing. One has to smear the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees.
So how do we practically understand this? To submit to authorities?
Well, not just only submit to authorities. Here it talks about who is a great devotee of Krishna. For us it is the greatest devotee is Srila Prabhupada. So what are his instructions? By following his instructions we are actually, you can say we are smearing the dust on of his lotus feet, because by following his instructions we get his mercy. And then we can realize, of course, it means following in the authorities, GBC, spiritual masters like that. Because everyone is focused on Srila Prabhupada's mission, not individual thing. They may appear individual, but they are all focusing on spreading the movement on behalf of Srila Prabhupada.
So how much of the management is classic management principles and how much of it is devotion?
It is always devotion. Then
First.
based on devotion, then you see how you can manage an individual or the collective society. Right? Each individual may have different tendencies and behavior, right? You cannot put a Brahmana, well, you may be able to, but you can't put a Shudra to do a Brahmana's job.
But technically all of the senior people are all Brahmanical initiated, sannyasi.
No, it's not like
initiated,
that. I'm saying if you are intelligent, even at the moment, even though you may wear a Brahminical thread, Brahmin thread, but you may not have the inclination, You may be more Vaishya. Yeah. So the three ashram varnas can wear, Kshatriya, Brahmana and Vaishyas can be Brahmanically initiated, which means they can come to the level of Brahmins.
Yeah, because I went to this meeting in Mayapur, Leadership Sangha or whatever, and one of the Prabhu from California, I forget his name now, so he had like a very management oriented discussion. He gave everybody sheets of paper and everybody had to do questions, and it appeared very much like how Microsoft or Amazon would approach that type
because
of
one thing you must understand, you are in this particular time in Kali Yuga, this is what is prevalent. So the influence is there, and people expect certain ways to be similar also, material nature, and so you have to do it in such a way that they don't feel uncomfortable in managing also the style, right? They read a 7-minute manager or 7 principles of manager because they want to make sure they manage properly. But what I think many of the times they fail to understand is a devotee is actually a volunteer. So a volunteer person behaves slightly different. And you cannot enforce what you learn in the management in the material world because people are fruitive.
Right.
Yeah, so that
they are based on salary and bonus. We'll work very hard.
Yeah, so therefore you have to be able to adjust those principles for managing devotees. But the best way to manage devotees is
love and affection.
Yes.
That's all. We don't need anything else.
Yeah. If you are very affectionate and if you are doing it for their well-being, they will listen. If they don't listen, why you worry? Or if you start saying bad things about that person, the person will turn around and say, so what? Right? So no, we can't force the devotees generally, But I remember one time in a lecture, one devotee was saying, one Maharaj was saying that people were asking questions like, this temple, my guru, my authorities are like that. And finally, the sannyasi was saying, look, ISKCON is so big. If you really can't fit, go somewhere.
Okay, so it was very clear.
Yeah, he said, you try all the things, but if you really can't, then move on. So for your own relief, move on. Sometimes we think we can fix the situation, but then the machine is so big, you probably only one nut.
Yeah.
Cannot fix the whole.
Yeah, a washer or something. You can't fix the whole machine like that.
Yeah, think of it, 183, 200 countries.
Yeah. So therefore, you have all kinds of devotees. In any temple, you see there's so many different types of devotees. So therefore, it's a volunteer situation, and the best way is, through affection and loving exchanges, you can encourage people.
But is it even possible? Of course, love and affection is there. To categorize the type of devotees and have different approaches for each one of the types, or should not bother about that?
It's possible, but then each individual is different, no? So they need a different dose, right?
Like I showed you that Excel spreadsheet, I'm trying to understand what their propensities are.
But you don't know yet until you see they are responsible or not.
Okay.
Right?
So,
You can give someone, say, I want to do, usually when sannyasis are around or everybody like, up there, look at me, all dressed up nice, right? Starched and everything, shiny, and then the very next day all drabby, all gone. So like one day is like a big gala, even the next day is a desert. You're like, what happened? Where am I? Is this real? It's like an illusion. That is reality. So therefore, you can understand we are not at that stage. But if you have it in a material organization, because everyone is paid, the first day they do all the service of the midnight, 1 o'clock, next day they are there at 8 o'clock working. So therefore you cannot say it's the same. Those principles that 1 minute or 10 minute or 10 million years manager. It's different. It doesn't work at all times. But I feel for when devotees do that, I can understand why they're trying to do. They're trying to somehow manage
professional management.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Usually it doesn't work.
Do you have any comments, Prabhu, about your experience of managing?
Volunteer management is different.
Exactly. It's not easy at all.
It's difficult, actually.
It's the hardest section. So you find most volunteer organized outside is not really volunteers. They all are paid.
Yeah. Most of charities have paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Staff.
So how can you say they are
NGOs.
volunteers? Not. Okay, continue.
Yatrotma shloka kunanuvadaha prastuyate gramya katha vigataha nisevyamano nudinam mumukshayur matim satim yachati vasudeve.
Who are the pure devotees mentioned here? In an assembly of pure devotees, there's no question of discussing material subjects like politics and sociology. There you go. Now you understand why he's talking so many things. Because the person is not qualified to listen to other things. Therefore he has to talk from his level. In an assembly of pure devotees, there is discussion only of the qualities, forms and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is praised and worshipped with full attention. In the association of pure devotees, by constantly hearing such topics respectfully, even a person who wants to merge into the existence of the Absolute Truth abandons this idea and gradually becomes attached to the service of Vasudeva. Yeah. So you can see, right, even when Sukadeva Goswami heard the Brahma, the verses from Bhagavatam. There's one from Lord Brahma's prayer, that is the Bhagavatam, and then one from Gopi Gita and one from Uddhava. Aho Baki. Yeah. So when he heard those verses, he's like entrenched. He want to think about the impersonal aspect. He want to serve the Lord. But the main thing is, you can see, if you are not at the high level of consciousness, there's no point discussing the qualities, forms and pastimes of Supreme Lord. Everyone wants to hear pastimes,
Yeah. But Srila Prabhupada focused more on the philosophy and less on Leela.
Yeah, very little on Leela. So the Leela we discuss is from whatever Prabhupada wrote. But, Krishna book.
Yeah.
But devotees all want to hear all amazing pastimes.
But even in Krishna book, every third line there is a philosophical point.
Yeah, of course.
Srila Prabhupada
So
is
to
saying.
straighten you up, hey, this is God you are talking about. Because we are not really qualified actually. Yeah. So therefore, we have to understand how to appreciate Krishna's pastime. We have to know the philosophy very thoroughly, then we can go into the pastimes, name, form, qualities, pastimes. Yeah. Okay, text 14.
Aham pura bharato nama rajam vimukta drishta sruta sangha bandha Aradhanam bhagavata iha mano Vigo bhavam mriga sangha dataratha. So sometimes in Sanskrit the flow seems easier and sometimes it is difficult, so there are various styles, looks like.
Not really. In this case it's a way how you increase or lower the emphasis. Translation: in a previous birth I was known as Maharaj Bharat. So now he is going to talk about what happened to him. He'll conclude in a couple of verses what happened. In a previous birth I was known as Maharaj Bharat. I attained perfection by becoming completely detached from material activities through direct experience, and through indirect experience I received understanding from the Vedas. I was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, but due to my misfortune, I became very affectionate to a small deer. So much so that I neglected my spiritual duties. Due to my deep affection for the deer, in my next life, I had to accept the body of a deer. Now you notice he is not afraid of telling his problems. Right? So he is owning, yeah, I made a mistake, and I'm telling you I made a mistake.
Don't make.
So I know what I did wrong, I'm telling you,
So that you don't do it.
you don't do it, and don't think you know better. I've been through it. Right? So Prabhupada writes, if one always follows the orders of spiritual master, there is no question of following down. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and become ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Okay? Unless you get the mercy of the superior devotee or senior devotee or advanced devotees, you cannot make any advancement. Right? So never look at your spiritual master as an ordinary person, even though they appear ordinary. It's hard. If you associate too closely, you'll see the spiritual master as ordinary person. But you're not supposed to be thinking like that, right? When you were serving your Guru, how you felt?
I felt very imposing position that he has, so it's very difficult to.
Exactly. After, if you stick around too long, you'll start getting offensive.
Yeah, it should not. That's also I realized. We should not be more than, say, 2 weeks.
Exactly.
More than that is very difficult.
Exactly. It's not easy. It is not at all easy. Because then your mind, if it's not controlled, you'll think of many things, offensive things like that. So here he tells, he owns a problem. He's telling, this is what I was. He's not trying to hide anything. And I learned my mistakes. Text 15.
Samam smritir mrigadehe piviram Krishnarchana prabhavano jahati Ato aham jana sangada sango Visankamano vivritasya charami.
My dear heroic king, due to my past sincere service to the Lord, I could remember everything of my past life, even while in the body of a deer. Because I am aware of the fall down in my past life, I always keep myself separate from the association of ordinary men. Being afraid of their bad, materialistic association, I wander alone, unnoticed by others. So he became very careful. He doesn't want to associate because 90% of the people are ordinary. 10% may be practicing.
During those days, Vedic culture is prevalent and there will be a lot of associations of devotees, sanghas.
Not necessarily. They are all only in the mode of goodness.
Yeah, it's not.
Not necessarily Paramahansas.
Oh, it is very high.
Yeah. He is at that level, so for him most people are just materialistic. Even someone who is Brahminical
Sannyasi
can be still, even sannyasis also. Yeah.
So he doesn't want to associate with anyone.
Only Paramahansas he will associate. But for some reason, King Rahugana is from a very exalted Angira Muni is. It seems that the Lord has been merciful to him and given the opportunity to associate with Bharat Maharaj.
So just like we are associating with Srila Prabhupada right now, could these exalted personalities not have associated, or near exalted personalities not associate with previous scriptural writings, so that you said the general mass of population was very materialistic.
But generally,
we also had the opportunity.
Previous age is the gurus come and tell you, no? You learn through Gurukula and so on, the scriptures. Right?
So they're already associating with the scriptures. So
yes.
There is a chance for even amongst those materialistic men, some people to rise.
Depends, right? It all depends on even within the Gurukul, the guru understands who is going to be in this mood and mode and so on. Do they get the chance? Yeah, they get the chance. But what you do with that chance is depending on each individual, You may progress in this life to take birth in Satya Yuga, right? But then you may still have harboring so much material desires. So in Satya Yuga you may have the opportunity, but you may pursue your
materialistic tendencies.
Yeah. But the association that you get with the very qualified may affect you also.
In Satya Yuga,
Yeah.
that is, so it can work both ways.
Yes. Like that. You can't always think that, I've associated with the Mahabhagavad, so I'm definitely, definitely you'll go back, but when?
Maharaj, Ambarisha's brother's story is our only hope.
We do not know.
We see some key Vaishnavas and then hopefully.
Yeah, anyway, he didn't want to spoil the opportunity to go take another birth, so he stayed away and took birth as Jadabharat, text 16.
Sorry. It's coming. Tasmannaro sanga susango jata Jnanasine haiva vivikranamoha Harim tadiha katana srutabhyam Labdha smritiryati atiparam adhavanaha
Simply by associating with exalted devotees, anyone can attain perfection of knowledge, and with the sword of knowledge can cut to pieces the illusory associations within this material world. Through the association of devotees, one can engage in the service of the Lord by hearing and chanting Shravanam, Kirtanam. Thus one can revive his dormant Krishna consciousness, and sticking to the cultivation of Krishna consciousness, return home back to Godhead even in this life. So he also says the same thing Prabhupada says. In the same life we can go back.
In third canto, one point, Prabhupada in the purport, when I was preparing for the exam, he says, it is not so easy to go back to Godhead in one lifetime. He also said that in one place.
Because we have so many attachments. But the point is, even in one life you can.
Yeah. If we get rid of those attachments.
Right. So, main thing here is knowing how to associate. If you don't know how to associate, you lose the opportunity to develop your Krishna consciousness.
So, Prabhu, when we say association of devotees, is it usually indicative of exalted devotees, like pure devotees?
All kinds. All kinds. I know what you're saying. Yeah, in this case, he already said exalted devotees. So he's talking about very advanced.
Like Naradam association.
So in our movement, exalted devotees are those who are like the Maharajas who are preaching strongly, who are making so many people take up the process. So we try to serve them somehow. Try to associate. How you associate with them? Go to their classes, listen, or help them in their preaching. Sometimes some people give donations. All these are helping.
Which you do already. You invite everybody.
To some extent.
Yeah, and or you do some seva for them, something that they appreciate. Prabhupada said we are giving, this Krishna conscious movement is giving this chance to everyone. We are giving shelter to everyone who is serious about progressing in Krishna consciousness. So remember, he says who is serious. That's why I say you all have to be careful who you say, okay, you be a devotee, get initiated. No. You have to be serious, otherwise don't. We are giving shelter to everyone who is serious. We arrange for their lodging and board so that they can peacefully cultivate Krishna consciousness and return home back to God, even in this life. I think the main thing is we are giving shelter to people who are serious. So then we work with them, and if they are serious, then we encourage them further. Otherwise, we allow them to support the process. Remember in chapter 12, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, try to meditate. If you can't meditate, follow the regulatory principles. If you cannot follow regulatory principles, work for him, then you give charity or meditate on the impersonal aspect, like that. Yeah. Or if they can't even do that, then they can support some activities and stuff like that. Yeah. So those things are there. So we have to see the person, they cannot be serious, then they can do other things. They can do other things. The movement needs so many help in so many ways. So not everyone has to have a stamped initiation. Yeah. Don't have to. So we have to be open-minded. When they are qualified, you will know they are qualified. Anyway, this is something to think about, because it is something you are going to grow into. Take responsibilities.
What about the devotees who have been working? They are fairly serious in their physical support to the movement,
That's
but
fine.
they don't really go. But then, without the formal connection, will they be able to? Or maybe it's happening in the next life.
It can be next life. Krishna can give mercy.
Krishna and mercy in this way.
Yeah, we fail to understand that Krishna is Swarat. Right? We always think we can control Krishna. Oh, I did it, so he has to give me. It's not going to be like that. So Prabhupada also gives another clue. If you want to keep people, serious people, you need to have lodging and board. That's for serious people. Remember early on he said we are not a hotel. For who? For lazy people. So here you say lodging and board. So that they can peacefully cultivate. So what does peacefully mean? So that they have an opportunity to become serious. The early days is so difficult, right? They had to do so many difficult austerities. But they did it to please Prabhupada. Therefore they were given the blessings.
Yeah, even now in Russia they are going through so many austerities.
Yeah.
Here we are a very wealthy country, but there are no facilities actually. Like the place where I slept, there was no door. They built a house and they ran out of money by the time they came to door. So they are putting curtains and things like that. So we slept on the floor, and somehow the family is living, we are living there while we were there. Devotees are like that, working very hard.
Yeah,
It's a luxury actually, what we have.
Yeah, we have now luxury, but I'm saying initially that's how Prabhupada started, right? So therefore we have to be serious, The austerities they went through, we are not going through. But we go through another kind of austerity. Our austerity is how to associate with one another. That's even harder. Everyone is different. Everyone has different kind of horns. And it hurts when you get too close.
How is it in India, Prabhu? Devotees associate well? Or same way as here?
Not that much.
Not that much? Okay.
It's the same.
Same.
It's Kali Yuga.
No, I'm thinking maybe because of America, independence and individuality.
It's now almost same. Now everyone sees through internet. So what is India? What is America? It's the same.
Same thing.
In fact, there's more abortions going on in Bombay, Delhi, and Calcutta than in America.
There is no time, bro. In India, people are so busy with family stuff and
Something busy as something.
this
Family.
doesn't get time.
In India, every third day somebody is inviting you for some function.
Yeah,
There's a big headache actually.
social.
Yeah, because they all think that's enjoyment. Enjoyment is have some party, go there and then socializing. And nobody wants to go back to Godhead. Okay.
You disassociate with them?
Huh?
So you disassociate with them? when
You
see
give
them?
association, you don't associate.
Disassociate.
Well, if you want to disassociate, then how are you going to help them in their Krishna consciousness?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Let's send somebody else, right? Sometimes you cannot associate with your own family members because you don't know how to talk to them. You get angry or whatever. So maybe someone else can go and talk on your behalf.
So that's what I did. I used to invite some of the other local devotees to my sister's home while I was there. So at least she's getting some association with those people.
Let them talk.
Yeah, let them talk, not me.
So your relationship will be nice. You don't have to preach to family members.
But anyway, isn't there Prabhu was that you should not preach your family members?
I don't know. It depends on them, It depends on your family, how pious they are, how favorable.
Some people are interested, they're ready to hear.
Yeah, it all depends. If you have a family member who's inimical, then you don't preach.
I tell you, my kids, they say you are not a serious devotee. So when I try to say something, they don't listen. They think I'm like somewhere in the middle. Time passed.
I'm sure they are more serious.
You must preach through Mataji.
Huh?
We preach through Mataji.
Something like, I don't know. I've not figured that out yet. Maybe you can come and talk to them. What has happened is since childhood they are in the temple, so
Exactly.
they have heard all these things, whatever I'm about to speak. So before I speak, they will stop me or correct me.
That's true. That's the downside to it, because they take it to
Other extreme.
Simplistic view.
Yeah.
Should I go with the next verse, Prabhu?
No.
Okay, we'll stop.
It's almost 3:45.